In the silent corridors of eternity, where the echoes of lost hope reverberate like a distant drum, a mystery unfolds, a mystery as old as time itself, woven into the fabric of existence and cloaked in the shadows of divine judgment. Imagine a realm beyond the reaches of mortal understanding, a place where the familiar glow of life is extinguished and replaced by a paradoxical interplay of searing flames and an impenetrable void. This is not merely a scene from myth or legend. It is the stark, eternal reality that challenges the very core of our being, a reality that beckons us to ponder, what really is hell? Is it the raging inferno of endless torment, the suffocating shroud of darkness, or the despair of eternal isolation? In this realm, every flicker of light is swallowed by an all-consuming abyss, and every spark of hope is snuffed out before it can ignite. The imagery is visceral and arresting. Blazing fire that scorns the promise of warmth, juxtaposed against a darkness so complete that it devours the soul's yearning for salvation. Here the flames do not illuminate. They sear the spirit with the agony of remorse, burning with a fury that is both relentless and unyielding. And the darkness is not the gentle veil of night. It is a malignant emptiness, a void that mirrors the soul's abandonment of all that is good and life-affirming. This introduction invites us on a journey deep into the heart of existential mystery, a journey where we traverse the boundary between light and shadow, and where every step challenges our perceptions of justice, redemption, and the eternal consequences of our choices. It is a call to reflection, an invitation to explore the profound symbolism that has been passed down through the ages. The duality of hell's torment, represented by the searing fire of punishment and the oppressive darkness of forsaken hope. As we stand at the precipice of this enigmatic chasm, we are compelled to ask ourselves difficult questions. How do the ferocity of flames and the despair of darkness converge to create a landscape of eternal suffering? What is it about this terrifying paradox that resonates so deeply within the human soul, stirring both fear and a desperate longing for salvation? In grappling with these questions, we are not merely observers of an ancient doctrine. We become active participants in a narrative that challenges us to confront our deepest fears and to examine the choices that have brought us to this crossroads. This exploration is more than an academic inquiry. It is a passionate appeal to the human spirit. It is a reminder that the decisions we make echo far beyond our mortal existence, shaping not only our destiny, but the very essence of our being. Here, in the interplay of fire and darkness, lies a cautionary tale, a narrative that implores us to cherish the light of hope and to avoid the pitfalls of isolation and despair. In the vast tapestry of existence, the question of eternal destiny beckons us to peer into the depths of what lies beyond the veil of our mortal understanding. Imagine a realm where every moment is a crucible of consequence, a place where the light of hope is but a distant memory, replaced instead by an ever-present blaze of regret and isolation. In this narrative, we journey into a dimension defined by two powerful symbols: the raging fire of unending torment and the oppressive darkness of complete separation. These symbols are not mere allegories, but serve as profound reflections of a reality that challenges both our intellect and our spirit. As we embark on this exploration, the interplay of fire and darkness becomes a mirror, reflecting the ultimate choices of the human soul. The fire, a ceaseless, fervent blaze, does not offer the comfort or warmth that one might expect. Instead, it burns with an intensity that strips away any illusion of relief, serving as a stark reminder that suffering, when it is unrelieved by hope, becomes an inescapable part of existence. This fire represents not only the immediate pain of physical agony, but also the deeper, more enduring anguish that comes from the realization of one's own isolation from a higher, divine presence. In contrast, the darkness is not simply the absence of light. It is a void, a chasm of despair where every ray of hope is smothered. This darkness is the echo of every choice made in life, a lingering shadow cast by the rejection of an all-encompassing love that could have illuminated even the bleakest corners of the soul. Here, the void is as palpable as the fire, a reminder that isolation is not just an emotional state, but an eternal condition that strips away the very essence of being. Throughout history, the imagery of fire and darkness has served as a potent symbol of divine justice and human consequence. Ancient scriptures and timeless wisdom speak of these elements as the final destination for souls that stray from the path of light. Yet, within these descriptions, there lies an invitation, a call for introspection and transformation. It is a plea to recognize that the eternal flames and impenetrable darkness are not arbitrary punishments, but natural outcomes of a life that turns away from the sustaining grace of love and hope. In our modern lives, the metaphor of fire and darkness resonates on a deeply personal level. Consider the moments when despair feels all-consuming, when the weight of regret and isolation seems to extinguish any semblance of light. In those times, the flames of our own inner turmoil mirror the searing pain of a soul disconnected from its true source of life. And yet, just as a single spark can ignite a blaze, so too can a moment of clarity kindle the promise of redemption. This paradox is at the heart of our exploration, a duality that invites us to engage with both the harsh realities of consequence and the transformative power of hope. Now, dear viewer, I invite you to reflect on your own journey. Think back to the moments in your life when the shadows of regret seemed to close in, when the path forward appeared shrouded in darkness. In those very moments, there may have been a flicker, a whisper of hope that urged you to reach out, to embrace the possibility of renewal. I encourage you to share your experiences in the comments below. Let us build a community where every story, every struggle, and every triumph contributes to a collective understanding of what it means to overcome the darkness. Share this video with those who might need to see that even in the most desolate moments, there is a possibility for light. As our narrative unfolds, we delve deeper into the symbolic landscape where fire and darkness coalesce. Imagine walking through an endless expanse where the horizon is consumed by a relentless inferno. The heat is unyielding, a constant reminder that every step taken is marked by the burning consequences of past decisions. Yet, amidst this agony, there is a peculiar stillness, a momentary pause where the soul contemplates the futility of resistance against an unchanging fate. It is in these moments of despair that the true nature of separation is revealed, not as an external imposition, but as a profound internal void that emerges when we forsake the light. The narrative of eternal separation is woven into the very fabric of human experience. It is a tale as old as time, resonating through the annals of history and echoing in the silent chambers of our hearts. The dichotomy of fire and darkness serves as a vivid allegory for the choices we make. Each decision, each fleeting moment of defiance against love's call, adds to the mosaic of our eternal fate. And yet, within this somber picture, lies the promise of redemption. Just as a single ember has the potential to ignite a transformation, so too can a moment of sincere repentance kindle the light of hope, even in the midst of overwhelming despair. Throughout our journey, the themes of regret, isolation, and the yearning for redemption are interwoven with a call to action. The story of these eternal elements is not meant to instill fear, but to awaken us to the beauty and fragility of our own existence. In the interplay of scorching fire and engulfing darkness, there is a subtle message, a reminder that our destiny is shaped by the choices we make and the light we choose to embrace. It is an invitation to re-examine the paths we have walked and to consider the possibility of a future illuminated by hope, compassion, and an unwavering connection to that which is divine. As we stand on the threshold of this profound exploration, the narrative beckons us to confront the paradox of our own existence. The fire of torment and the darkness of isolation are not just symbols of what might be, but mirrors reflecting the consequences of a life lived without purpose, without the guiding light of love. And yet, within these very symbols lies an opportunity, a chance to turn away from the shadows and to step into a realm where hope reigns supreme. The journey ahead is not for the faint of heart. It is a call to delve into the deepest recesses of our souls, to unearth the truth about the eternal struggle between light and darkness. As we continue to traverse this path, I urge you to remain engaged, to share your thoughts, and to embrace the dialogue that unfolds within our community. Your insights, your stories, and your reflections are the sparks that can ignite a movement, a collective awakening that transcends the despair of isolation and kindles a shared vision of hope. In the silence of our shared contemplation, we find not only the echoes of ancient wisdom, but also the promise of a brighter, more connected future. In the depths of our exploration, as we journey further into the realm of eternal consequence, the landscape of the human soul unfolds in intricate detail. Picture yourself traversing a vast barren plain where every step echoes with the weight of choices made long ago. The air is thick with memories, each one a testament to moments of passion, regret, and the enduring struggle between light and shadow. In this place, the boundaries between physical torment and spiritual desolation blur, creating an environment that is as enigmatic as it is relentless. The imagery of unending fire, which we encountered earlier, evolves here into a symbol of not only punishment, but of the profound internal reckoning that follows a life lived apart from divine grace. This fire is no ordinary blaze. It is a living, breathing force that reflects the inner torment of a soul caught in the grip of its own missteps. Imagine a flame that, rather than consuming material, consumes the very essence of hope. It is a flame that relentlessly feeds on the regrets of the past, each flicker a reminder of a chance unseized or a path left unexplored. The heat is so intense that it seems to melt the barriers of time, drawing the mind into an endless loop of reflection and sorrow. Yet, as the fire burns, there exists a contrasting silence, a profound stillness that speaks to the isolation inherent in this eternal condition. This silence is not the quiet of peaceful repose. It is a void that amplifies every heartbeat, every lingering thought of what might have been. It is the sound of emptiness, echoing off the walls of a heart that once knew the warmth of connection and has now been abandoned to its own despair. In this realm, The interplay of flame and void becomes a dance of agony, each step a reminder of the distance between what is and what might have been had different choices been made. At this juncture, it is important to consider how our own lives mirror, even if only in fleeting moments, the stark realities of this eternal domain. How many times have we felt the searing burn of regret, the acute pain of decisions that led us away from paths of joy and fulfillment? Each of these moments, though transient in our earthly experience, holds a fragment of the eternal struggle between the light of hope and the shadows of despair. In those instances, our inner landscapes become battlegrounds where past mistakes and the desire for redemption wage an unceasing war. The fire of our emotions, when unchecked, can transform into a consuming blaze that obliterates our sense of self and connection to something greater. For many, the concept of eternal isolation is the most harrowing aspect of this narrative. Isolation here is not merely a physical state, but an existential reality, a profound separation from the source of life and light. It is as if the very fabric of existence has been torn away, leaving behind a void where nothing can take root. In this state, the soul is left adrift, a solitary wanderer in an uncharted expanse where every star that once offered guidance has been extinguished. The absence of light is palpable. It is a darkness that is both visible and tangible, a constant reminder of a life severed from the embrace of divine presence. As you reflect on these images, consider the moments in your own life when you may have experienced a similar sense of disconnection. Perhaps there was a time when the future seemed uncertain, when the comforting glow of hope was replaced by a cold, unyielding shadow. These experiences, though painful, are part of the human journey, a journey that sometimes leads us to confront our own inner fires and the dark recesses of our hearts. And it is in these very moments of introspection that the possibility of transformation begins to emerge. For even the most consuming flames can, under the right conditions, give way to a new light, a light born of understanding, forgiveness, and the courageous act of seeking redemption. At this crossroads, I invite you, dear viewer, to pause and share your own experiences. Reflect on those times when you felt isolated, when the heat of regret seemed unbearable, and yet somehow a spark of resilience carried you forward. Your stories matter, and they contribute to a tapestry of shared human experience, a collective testament to the struggles and triumphs that define our journey. By commenting, liking, or sharing this video, you help to build a community that supports one another through the darkest of times and celebrates the moments when hope prevails. Returning to our narrative, the environment we are exploring now is one of constant motion, a realm where the past and present intermingle, and where every memory casts a long shadow over the soul. Here, the flames of regret and the silence of isolation combine to create a landscape that is both haunting and transformative. It is a place where every element of existence is charged with meaning, where even the smallest spark can illuminate the vast darkness. And within this illumination lies the potential for change, a chance to confront the pain of past missteps and to envision a future not defined by endless suffering, but by the possibility of renewal. In this continuous journey, the symbolism of fire and darkness transcends the literal to become a metaphor for the human condition itself. It is a narrative of duality, of the eternal struggle between what is lost and what might be found. The fire, with its relentless burn, reminds us of the inescapable consequences of choices made in moments of weakness, while the pervasive darkness symbolizes the isolation that follows when one turns away from the path of light. Together, they form a powerful allegory that speaks to the core of our existence, challenging us to consider the weight of our actions and the profound impact they have on our destiny. Even as we traverse this desolate terrain, there is an underlying promise, a subtle, almost imperceptible invitation to rise above the suffering. This promise is not delivered with fanfare or grand declarations, but in the quiet moments of clarity when the soul recognizes that redemption is possible. It is a call to reclaim the light that once shone brightly, to ignite the spark of hope that can dispel the encroaching shadows. And it is in this act of reclaiming that the true transformation begins, a metamorphosis that, though born of pain, ultimately leads to a renewal of spirit and purpose. As our narrative continues to unfold, the interplay of eternal fire and suffocating darkness challenges us to question, to reflect, and to seek a deeper understanding of what it truly means to be separated from that divine essence. The journey is arduous and the landscape unforgiving, yet within its harshness lies the potential for growth, a chance to learn from the past and to forge a path toward a future illuminated by the grace and compassion that have always been available to us. The journey through the realm of eternal consequence deepens as we confront the intricate interplay of human frailty and divine destiny. As the narrative unfolds, we find ourselves immersed in a landscape where the echoes of past decisions merge with the present reality of relentless fire and consuming darkness. Here, each moment is imbued with a tension that speaks to the profound duality of existence, a duality that challenges us to reconcile the intensity of our suffering with the transformative promise of hope. Imagine, if you will, a pathway shrouded by swirling mists that obscure the horizon. Every step you take is accompanied by the distant sound of crackling flames, a constant reminder that the fire of regret and remorse is never far behind. This is not merely a physical journey, but an inward odyssey, a pilgrimage into the recesses of the soul where the weight of past choices is both felt and seen. The path is treacherous, lined with the spectral remnants of memories that haunt every footfall. These memories, flickering like dying embers in the dark, evoke both sorrow and a stark clarity about the nature of our eternal separation. Within this desolate terrain, the presence of divine judgment is felt as an ever-watchful force. It is not a punishment meted out arbitrarily, but a natural consequence of living in deliberate disconnection from the source of all light and love. The flames here are not mere symbols of destruction. They are an active force that transforms every moment into a crucible of reflection. They burn away the superficial layers of pretense and illusion, exposing the raw truth of the soul. Each burst of heat seems to whisper a reminder that every choice, every forsaken opportunity to embrace redemption has led to this point of irrevocable solitude. Yet, amidst this overwhelming heat and pervasive gloom, there is an undeniable undercurrent of resilience, a silent, persistent murmur that defies the despair. It is as if the very essence of life refuses to be entirely quenched, holding on to the memory of what once was and what could be again. In these fleeting moments of clarity, the possibility of transformation is palpable. The flames, while unyielding, can also serve as the catalyst for rebirth if one is willing to look deep within and grasp the lesson they impart. It is this paradox, a fire that both destroys and refines, that mirrors our own internal struggles. The darkness that envelops this realm is equally compelling. It is not a darkness that is simply the absence of light, but one that actively smothers the spirit, leaving it isolated and yearning for connection. In this void, every sound, every thought becomes magnified, echoing endlessly in a space devoid of external warmth. It is a darkness that forces introspection, compelling one to confront the solitude that arises when one is cut off from all that nurtures and sustains life. In this state, isolation is both an experience and an identity, a constant reminder of the chasm that exists when the light of divine presence is no longer embraced. At this juncture in our narrative, the interplay of fire and darkness takes on a more personal dimension. Picture yourself standing at a crossroads where the weight of every decision bears down with an almost tangible force. The path behind you is scorched and barren, a testament to choices that have led to unrelenting pain. Ahead lies a terrain that, while equally daunting, hints at the possibility of redemption. It is here, in the heart of this duality, that the call to transformation resonates most clearly. The agony of the present moment is interlaced with the faint, persistent murmur of hope, an invitation to reimagine a future where light might again dispel the encroaching shadows. In the midst of this turbulent environment, there is a profound invitation to engage, not only with the narrative, but with your own inner experiences. Reflect on the times when you have felt the sting of isolation or the burn of regret, moments that have shaped your understanding of what it means to be truly alone. These experiences, as painful as they might be, are also the seeds of profound insight and change. I encourage you to share your personal journeys in the comments below. Your stories of struggle, resilience, and eventual hope are not just testimony to individual endurance, but serve as guiding lights for others navigating their own dark nights. Your engagement, through comments, likes, and shares, enriches our collective exploration and fosters a community of mutual support and understanding. As we traverse further into this intricate narrative, the symbolism intensifies. The crackling of flames and the silent sweep of darkness merge into a single relentless chorus, narrating the tale of a soul in turmoil. Every flicker of fire seems to demand accountability, urging the heart to remember that the intensity of the flame is proportional to the depth of what has been forsaken. The shadows, meanwhile, serve as quiet witnesses to the profound loss that accompanies every act of turning away from the divine. They remind us that isolation is not merely an external condition, but an internal state, a self-imposed exile that can only be remedied by a willingness to seek the light. There comes a moment in this journey when the oppressive heat and stifling darkness begin to reveal their true nature. They are not merely agents of despair. They are the stark realities of a choice made long ago. This recognition is both painful and liberating. It is an acknowledgement that the path to redemption lies not in denying the past, but in embracing it fully, learning from it, transforming it, and allowing it to guide one toward a future illuminated by hope. The narrative does not shy away from the harsh truths of consequence, yet it also holds a mirror to the boundless potential for renewal inherent in every soul. Now, as you continue to navigate these uncharted territories of the spirit, consider the dual lessons of fire and darkness. They are not simply harbingers of eternal damnation, but also reminders of the transformative power that lies in confronting one's own inner turmoil. The heat that scorches may also, under the right conditions, refine, and purify. The darkness that isolates may eventually give way to a dawn if the soul is open to seeking it. In this delicate balance between despair and hope, there exists the possibility of not only enduring the agony, but emerging stronger, transformed by the very flames that once threatened to consume. Thus, the narrative weaves a complex tapestry where every element, from the relentless fire to the engulfing darkness, serves as both a warning and a beacon. It is an invitation to reconsider the consequences of our choices and to embrace the ever-present possibility of redemption. As the journey progresses, each step becomes a call to action, urging the heart to break free from the bonds of isolation and to reach out towards the promise of light. The path may be fraught with challenges, but it is also rich with the potential for profound, transformative change, a change that begins with the recognition of our own power to choose. As the journey nears its profound conclusion, the path ahead reveals a landscape transformed by the interplay of light and shadow, a tapestry woven with threads of redemption, revelation, and the eternal promise of hope. In this final chapter of our exploration, the echoes of past choices and the lingering flames of regret give way to the soft, persistent glow of renewal. The relentless fire that once scorched with unyielding fury now transforms into a crucible for purification, inviting the weary soul to emerge reborn from the ashes of its former despair. Imagine a horizon where the darkness that once seemed impenetrable begins to recede, replaced by the gentle, almost imperceptible glow of a new dawn. The fiery inferno that had, for so long, symbolized unending torment gradually yields to a transformative light, a light that does not merely dispel shadows, but nurtures the possibility of growth and healing. In this moment, the relentless blaze of isolation softens, its once overwhelming heat now tempered by the promise of compassionate renewal. Within this transformative space, the soul is invited to reflect on its arduous journey. Every step, every painful memory has led to this pivotal moment of clarity, a moment where the lessons of the past coalesce into a powerful impetus for change. The searing intensity of the fire, which had earlier mirrored the agony of regret, now serves as a reminder that suffering, when met with courage and introspection, can be the very catalyst for transformation. It is as though the flames themselves, in their relentless burn, are urging the spirit to shed its old, worn-out identity and to embrace the possibility of becoming something new, something whole. In this quiet interlude, the essence of what it means to be truly human is laid bare. The struggle between despair and hope is not merely a series of isolated moments, but a continuous, evolving narrative, a narrative in which the individual is both the protagonist and the architect of their destiny. The darkness that once symbolized irrevocable isolation now appears as a temporary shroud, a veil that, when lifted, reveals a vast expanse of potential waiting to be explored. The soul, having traversed the treacherous terrain of eternal consequence, is now poised at the threshold of an era defined not by the scars of its past, but by the resilience to forge a new path forward. At this juncture, the call for personal reflection and communal engagement becomes ever more poignant. Consider the moments in your life when the overwhelming weight of regret threatened to engulf you, when the specter of isolation loomed large and unyielding. In those moments, perhaps you found within yourself a spark of defiance, a subtle yet insistent whisper urging you to seek a way out of the darkness. It is in sharing these experiences that we find strength for each narrative of struggle and triumph contributes to a collective understanding of our shared human condition. I invite you to continue this dialogue by sharing your insights and experiences in the comments. Your voice, your story, is an essential part of this community, a community that thrives on the power of shared hope and mutual support. As the transformative light grows stronger, it illuminates a path that winds through the remnants of past despair, guiding the soul toward a future imbued with meaning and connection. The journey is far from over, rather. It enters a new phase where every decision, every moment of vulnerability, becomes an opportunity to reclaim the inherent worth of being. The very elements that once seemed to conspire against us, the unquenchable fire and the impenetrable darkness, now merge into a harmonious interplay that invites introspection and ultimately redemption. In this renewed landscape, the once oppressive flames now appear as gentle reminders of the intensity with which life must be experienced. They urge us to embrace the full spectrum of our emotions, to acknowledge that pain and joy, despair and hope are all threads in the intricate fabric of our existence. The transformative journey is not a linear path. It is a mosaic of experiences that challenge us to grow, adapt, and ultimately to rise above the confines of our previous limitations. With each step forward, the light gains momentum, gradually dispelling the vestiges of isolation and filling the void with a sense of belonging and purpose. Reflect then on the resilience of the human spirit, a spirit that has weathered the harshest of storms and emerged, if not unscathed, then undeniably stronger. The narrative of eternal consequence is not solely a tale of suffering, but also one of hope, renewal, and the inexhaustible capacity to transform. Even as the fire of regret once raged unchecked, there is an enduring truth. Every ember of despair holds within it the seed of redemption, waiting patiently for the moment when it can blossom into a beacon of hope. It is this possibility that underscores the entire journey, a possibility that each of us can embrace if we dare to confront the shadows and seek the light beyond them. In the final moments of this exploration, the once overwhelming dichotomy between fire and darkness is reconciled into a singular unifying vision. It is a vision that speaks of ultimate transformation, a metamorphosis where the pain of isolation is transmuted into the power of connection, and the consuming flames of regret give way to a light that heals and uplifts. Here, the path forward is illuminated not by the absence of suffering, but by the presence of a compassionate, unwavering hope that defies the very forces that once threatened to tear us apart. As you contemplate this final stage of the journey, allow yourself to be moved by the profound realization that the choices we make today shape the eternal landscape of our souls. Every moment of vulnerability, every act of courage in the face of overwhelming odds contributes to the tapestry of our future, a future where the transformative power of light overcomes the remnants of darkness. The narrative we have shared is more than a mere exploration of eternal consequence. It is a call to embrace the full spectrum of human experience, to acknowledge both the scars and the beauty that define us, and to move forward with a renewed commitment to living a life of purpose, connection, and unyielding hope. Now, as our journey together comes to a close, let the enduring message of transformation and redemption resonate within you. May the light that now permeates the darkness serve as a constant reminder that, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable despair, there exists a path toward renewal, a path that begins with the courage to confront our own inner fires and the determination to rise, reborn and resilient, into a future filled with the promise of eternal hope.